Let's talk about how to start an LLC in Florida. So if you're in Florida right now and you are interested in actually kicking off your business activities in that state in regards to an LLC, here's a video I really want you to pay attention to. So let me first give you an overview. The thing is that basically Florida is an LLC friendly state. It's a business friendly state. You have a lot of opportunities, and the regulations there are pretty cool in terms of taxation, in terms of regulatory compliance. You really have a nice state, a nice foundation in Florida. And one thing I want to say here is that when we talk about starting a new LLC in Florida, the very first thing you need to do is to name your Florida LLC. You got to name it first, okay? So when we talk about naming your LLC in Florida, first of all, you have to also think about the legal name considerations. So the name has to be unique. So your business name has to be unique in the state of Florida. So make sure your Florida business name is not taken. So if you want to check it, if you want to check online to see if your name is available, just go to the Florida Business Entity Search page. And actually, also you have to think about the LLC name requirements. So you got to have a limited liability company. Your name must include the term limited liability company or one of the abbreviations LLC or L.L.C. It has to be a distinguishable name, so your name has to be distinguishable from other businesses in Florida. And these items are not considered distinguishable in the state of Florida. So articles like the A and an N, Corp, Inc., LLC, Limited, and the punctuation. And it must not be connected to the government, okay? So you cannot have a name that contains language that implies your limited liability company is connected with the state or federal government. It has to have the stated purpose. So your name cannot imply or openly state that it is organized for a purpose that is not authorized to. Okay, using bank in your name is an example of this. And there is a way to reserve a business name. So if you have a preferred name you're not able to register now, the state of Florida allows you to reserve a business name for up to 120 days. So you have 4 months actually where you can actually reserve your name. And so there are additional Florida LLC naming considerations. Get a domain name, okay? You want to trademark your Florida LLC's name, and you want to file for a fictitious name if needed. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's conversation. The second step is you need to appoint a registered agent in Florida. So the thing is that appointing a registered agent in Florida is a small but important detail as you register your LLC in Florida. So registered agents are required by Florida law for every business recognized by the state of Florida. So what are registered agents in Florida? Well, basically, a Florida registered agent is a person or business designated to receive official paperwork or other items from the state of Florida. Though the agent is required to be at the address provided during work hours to receive and then pass on important documents to you as the business owner. For example, if your company is sued for any reason, the registered agent is served the papers. And registered agents are not lawyers, and they do not provide any legal advice or feedback on the information they receive. They just receive it on your behalf. And who can serve as your registered agent? You can choose a professional service, you can choose a company, you can choose yourself, as a matter of fact, okay? And but we do not actually advise you to serve yourself as a registered agent because you really want to really separate things here. It's really important. And so you want to really outsource the whole task to a third party. Step number 3, you want to file Florida LLC articles of organization, okay? And so basically this is kind of important because to file your articles of organization, you want to submit the information online with the Florida Department of State Division of Corporations through their Sunbiz website. But if you're not a Sunbiz Knight and you need some human help, you can just reach out to a third party, not a problem. And there are a few things you need to include in your Florida LLC articles of organization. You got to include your LLC name, your principal business address, your registered agent name and address, the LLC purpose, authorized managers or representatives, the effective date, and the signature. Okay, and so if there are some changes to your business, you might have to actually mention that. But you don't need to file your articles of organization again. to make most other changes to your articles of organization, you need to file Florida articles of amendment along with a fee. So this is just what it is. And so, but there is an amendment filing service that can really help you out in your state, not a problem. And how long does it take for your articles of organization to be processed? It really depends. So while processing times vary, the Florida Secretary of State typically handles submission within 2 weeks, 1 to 2 weeks, and you're good to go. So, and you can check updated processing times on their website. Whilst I want to quickly remind you of today's topic, we are having a conversation about how to start an LLC in Florida, but it's always a good idea to have one, right? And Florida LLC operating agreements cover the rules that your company will follow, how finances will be handled, the business structure, and how decisions will be made. And there are several benefits for having a Florida LLC operating agreements. For example, you have personal assets protection, you have a clear definition of rules, you have ownership and capital clarification, and the way you fund your business, because some banks and lenders like to see the agreement before granting credit or loans, so they know you've taken steps to secure your business interests legally. This is kind of important. And so a well-drafted LLC operating agreement for your Florida LLC may include the following. You have details of your LLC, the management structure and the voting, capital contributions, distributions of profits, ownership percentages, responsibilities of each member, how changes in membership are handled, and the dissolution. So if something were to happen, at least you can cover that also in the Florida LLC agreement. And so if you are creating an LLC with other members, in other words, owners, each involved party will need to sign the documents formalizing their agreements to their terms, okay, and to the terms rather. And it may also be a great idea to have your LLC agreement notarized so everybody is on the same page. And so there are actually some templates online, and you can get it for your LLC Florida, your Florida LLC rather. The next thing you want to do is you want to apply for an EIN. This happens on the IRS website. EIN is an employer identification number. So you're able to do a lot of things once you have your EIN. You can open a bank account. You can actually file taxes at the federal level. You can actually register for taxes in the state of Florida, because you got to really register with the Florida Department of Revenue before you start conducting business in the states. So this is kind of important. So overall, you might need to also submit an annual report in Florida. So the first annual report, subsequent annual report, and if there is an information change also, you might need to actually notify state authorities. So now let's talk about what to do after forming an LLC in Florida. The thing here is that once you have done everything, there are a few other things you need to really pay attention to. Number one, you want to secure the necessary licenses and permits. So depending on the nature of your business, you will need specific licenses or permits to actually operate legally in the state of Florida. So you want to check with Florida's Department of Business and Professional Regulation to help determine what you need at the state level. For instance, if you are opening a seafood restaurant in Key West, you will need health permits and maybe even a liquor license. You need to register for Florida sales tax. So if you're selling goods or certain services, you will need to collect sales tax. You want to register with the Florida Department of Revenue to get your sales tax certificate. Remember, places like Miami are shopping hotspots, so you be sure that you are compliant. You need to actually invest in business insurance. So you want to protect your Florida LLC from potential risks. So whether it's potential hurricanes in the panhandle or business-related risks, insurance can offer peace of mind. So common types of insurance include general liability, professional liability, and commercial property insurance. You also want to trademark your brand. You never know, right? It's all about covering yourself. So, got a unique name or unique business name or logo, make sure no one else in Florida can use it by registering a trademark with the Florida Department of State. This could help if you are trying to build a brand in competitive areas like Orlando's tech scene. Or you have to think about starting marketing. Think local. You want to sponsor a community event in St. Petersburg, for instance, run ads in local Florida magazines, or collaborate with other Florida-based businesses for promotions. Understand your target demographic, whether it's tourists flocking to a Disney World or locals in Tallahassee. The last thing you want to do here is you want to stay compliant. So Florida requires LLCs to file an annual report. It's a simple process, but essential to keep your LLC in good standing, and you want your LLC to be in good standing. Make a note of the deadline to avoid any late fees. And navigating post-formation steps can really feel overwhelming, but if you have the right professional or the right structure in place, you can get things done, not a problem. Also, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about how to start an LLC in Florida. Let's talk about the benefits of LLCs in Florida. I mean, basically, there are a lot of benefits that you can actually enjoy if you have an LLC in Florida. First of all, you have asset protection. Then you have tax advantages. You have operational flexibility. This is an important benefit to have in mind. You have credibility. You have ease of access to business permits. And you also have diversity in terms of the business landscape. So when we talk about asset protection, what is it really? Well, just as Florida's mangroves shield its coast from storms, an LLC in Florida protects your personal assets. If your LLC faces debts or legal issues, for instance, your personal belongings like your home or car are not at risk, and you want to cover your back, so to speak. And what about tax advantages? Well, the Sunshine State shines bright when it comes to taxes. Florida LLCs are not subjected to a state income tax, meaning more money in your pocket. Plus, the pass-through taxation means profits and losses go directly to members without being taxed at the corporate level first. What about operational flexibility? Well, Florida is known for its relaxed vibes, and its approach to LLC is no different. So there's no stringent hierarchy or corporate formalities, and you can run your LLC in a way that suits your business style and needs. Also, let's talk about credibility. It's another important element. So operating as an LLC in bustling hubs like Miami or Tampa can give your business an added layer of professionalism. Clients and partners often find LLCs more trustworthy and reliable. You also have easier access to business permits. So the state of Florida, with its business-friendly environment, as I said earlier, often streamlines the process of acquiring necessary permits and licenses. So this makes setting up shop in places like Orlando or Jacksonville a breeze. You also have a diverse business landscape. So from the tourist hotspots of Orlando to the tech startups in Gainesville, Florida actually offers a wide array of industries and markets to tap into. And LLC is your ticket to this versatile business arena. Okay, this is kind of cool. Let's talk about the types of LLCs in Florida. So it's really important to understand that there is a variety of LLCs in Florida. So you have single-member LLCs, you have multi-member LLCs, and you have professional LLCs in Florida. So whenever you think about LLCs in Florida, I want you to think about this trifecta. Let's really get into the nitty-gritty here. So single-member LLCs. So basically, if you are a solo dreamer or if you are a solo entrepreneur, okay, setting up a single-member LLC could be a ticket in Florida. So imagine running a beachfront cafe or a solo IT consultancy in Tampa. With this structure, you can really charge as a sole owner while also enjoying the limited liability that the limited shield that LLCs offers. Let's talk about multi-member LLCs. So basically, if you're starting a beach resort with college buddies, for instance, then or perhaps a family-owned restaurant in Little Havana, a multi-member LLC is perfect when 2 or more people are joining forces. And it really helps ensure that each member's input is valued while splitting profits, losses, and responsibilities according to the agreed terms. And everything happens in the operating agreement, by the way, though. That's why it's so critical to have an operating agreement. You also have a professional LLC. So a professional limited liability company is a business entity made for licensed professionals. So here I'm talking about doctors, engineers, architects, and so on and so forth. And the primary purpose of a professional LLC is actually to provide liability protection similar to a regular LLC, while also meeting professional licensing requirements. And please note that the PLC does not shield its members from personal malpractice claims. It can, however, protect the members from malpractice claims against the other members. So if you want to cover yourself in terms of malpractice claim, just get the insurance, okay? The errors and omissions. So the E&O insurance that will actually cover you and really cover your back, so to speak. Let's close to this conversation by answering a few questions about actually setting up a Florida LLC. So how much does it really cost to set up a Florida LLC? Well, the state fees for forming an LLC in Florida range from $125 to $175, depending on factors such as whether you choose to get a fictitious business name. So because fees are subject to change, you want to double check the SOS website, the Secretary of State's websites for the most recent fee schedule and lowest prices for filing. And the thing here is that you need to really understand that asset protection and limited liability are two of the main benefits that the main benefits of a Florida LLC really has. So you also are able to avoid double taxation. You have flexible management. You have less reporting. Like they're not really trying to really kill you with a lot of reporting. This is really good. And you don't have to actually file an operating agreement with the state of Florida, but we actually recommend it, and experts also recommend it because you really want to structure, you want to formalize everything, even if you're a single member LLC. Yes, if you're a single member LLC, you still need to actually have it. I mean, you don't have to have it, but it's really recommended that you have it. And if you have a Florida LLC, of course you can do business in other states, not a problem. But you'll be actually you will need to register as a foreign LLC in whatever states you choose. And so you can also change the name of your LLC in Florida, not a problem. Just make sure that, I mean, you actually document everything in the articles of amendments to the articles of organization, but just make sure that the new name is legal and also available, because if it's legal but if it's not available, this is a really big problem for you. And you can also remove a member from an LLC in Florida, and everything happens in the operating agreement. That's why it's critical to have the right operating agreement for you. And in terms of tax structure for your Florida LLC, you have to choose what really works for you. Do you want to actually file as a partnership? Do you want to file as a C corporation? Do you want to file as an S corporation? So every scenario, or do you want to file actually? So every scenario has its pros and cons. And if you are a single member LLC in Florida, you can even file as an individual. You don't have to file as a company. So possibilities abound. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just talking to you about how to start an LLC in Florida. So step number 1, name your Florida LLC. Number 2, appoint a registered agent in Florida. Number 3, you want to file Florida LLC, articles of organization. Number 4, create an operating agreement. Number 5, apply for an LLC. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll speak to you another time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.